Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Muddy Outdoors.
We've been out all day setting up stands and we came to this spot. This is our last spot of the day, and it's a channel or a bowl that's in the middle of the timber. That creates a unique problem because it makes it hard for us to get our backs against something that the deer aren't going to be able to utilize to go around to try to catch our trail or our wind. Anytime we set up a stand or a blind, we try to get our backs set up against some kind of structure, whether it's a big ridge, a field, or an opening. We try to utilize that as a barricade to keep the deer in front of the blind where we want them. Even when everything's perfect, at some point you're going to cough at the wrong time, you're going to scratch your nose, you're going to draw attention to that blind, and the deer are going to notice it. And when they do notice something, you don't want them to be able to easily investigate what might be the problem. As I mentioned, we'll usually try to get our backs against some kind of structure, but in a situation like this, we're in the middle of a large piece of timber in this channel or this bowl, it provides a unique situation. So the deer largely are coming off this high ridge, traveling down through the low spot and out. And then they've got another 800 yards to get out to the agricultural fields. And this is where we're going to set up because this is where we can get the daylight encounters. Now, if we just slide our blind in anywhere along that edge, if any of those deer become alarmed to the blind, it's easy for them to slip in the bush and in around behind us to check the wind, check for our trail walking in. So what we're going to do is just pick the best spot we can. Life's not always perfect, and no deer stand's perfect either. So in the solid bush like this, we're going to go along that edge and we're going to pick the best spot that we can, and that's going to be right in there. As you can see, it's like a rat's nest in there, and contrary to popular belief, deer don't like that. They like to be able to see. They don't like it when it's extremely thick like that. So the more open timber over here, the deer are going to like to walk around in there. So if the deer come out here and they get any kind of curiosity and they slip in there, they're not going to want to go through that heavy brush. Will they go through that heavy brush? Of course they will, but it's just a deterrent to try to make things as uncomfortable for them as possible to make us. These little bowls and channels are almost ideal for setting up. You'll almost always see us in a bowl or a channel or on the edge of a field. And that's because the deer feel really comfortable because they can see. They've got the woods close by for cover. And we're going to add attractant here. So we're going to come out, we're going to put some Big and J out here as well where the deer are traveling through. So it's going to increase the deer movement. And we're just going to want to get it set up in the best spot possible. And that's going to be on the downwind side, of course, and in the best spot where the deer are going to be the most uncomfortable to try to swing in behind that blind. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Muddy Outdoors. Share your own muddy moment.